Hi, and welcome to our Renew You class tonight. My name is Rosie Gremmert, and I am going to be co-teaching with Leah Burke. I'm super excited about that. And we have got a phenomenal program laid out for you. I am going to go ahead and just kind of let you know that Leah's one of my favorite people on the planet, because if you're looking for someone who actually walks the walk and talks the talk, it's Leah. And she is 100% about foundational wellness and your habits and movement. And Leah, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your family?
Oh gosh. Well, my family, we're kind of small here in Texas because we moved away from our bigger family, but I have one daughter and one son, and one's in college and one's graduating this year. So we've been doing this a long, long time. doTERRA has been part of our family since Avery was 4 years old. So they also get to live the lifestyle that doTERRA presents, and mama's heart drives, right? So we love to live healthy, be healthy. And my husband, of course, he's awesome. And he gets to be, offered green juices every morning too. So we really do. My goal is for the family is that we're maintaining our health so it doesn't stop us from doing what we want to do.
I love that. It's like one of the most important things, that first circle of people, right? Our own families. And then this is a picture of my family, minus one grandbaby, wasn't born yet in this picture. And the reason why I like to have these two pictures on here is because, can you guys see how on the bottom one where they were trying to do the one with just the grandkids? Then it's really like my daughter-in-law is like, if you just will do one more picture, I'll give you a sucker. And then there's kids playing in the snow. And my son is over on the side with his little boy who's just like done. He just does not want to do any more pictures at all. And I just want you to know, like, nothing about what we're presenting tonight or how we teach or the way that we support or follow up is that we expect everything to be perfect. In fact, Leah and I and the other people in our great wellness community, we all know that the other picture is really a little bit more how life goes. Like, you can see my little granddaughter's pulling my hair, right, as we're trying to do this picture. I have been using doTERRA's products and essential oils since 2011 and have had phenomenal shifts with my own health and wellness. And I was already wellness minded. I was already relatively healthy. I had been part owner in a herbal apothecary. I already had been what now people call a homesteader, and lived out on property and gardened and had chickens and sheep and even cows and all kinds of things, and had the nickname of being called a granola. Like, I might even be kind of an original hippie, maybe. I don't know. But the results I had with doTERRA's products made such a difference that I knew that I had a responsibility to let other people know about the essential oils, their purity, the potency, and the other amazing wellness products that are there. So we want to share with you tonight about this phenomenal way that you can. Oh, that is not when the next class is, so just ignore that slide right now. We just want to tell you about this amazing situation that we have, where we have figured out a 90-day plan that really does help you to reset and to have a completely different outcome. And in this plan, the first step is this vitality assessment that you can see up in the corner. Now, I've done enough of these virtual classes to know that, one, even if you get it in your email ahead of time, people show up for the class just in time for the class. And two, although it is more impactful if you have the assessment done before we start teaching the class, I also know that somebody who's invited you to this class is there to support you. And they're going to be able to get you a copy of the vitality assessment, guide you through, help you figure out your areas of focus, your targeted support. And really, Leah and Maya's job here tonight is to help you have an overview of the whole program, so that then you can work with the person that invited you here to the class to know exactly what it is that is going to be right for you. So no matter where you are or what you want to solve, the foundational wellness situation that we're going to talk about can help to make a shift. Can you see all of these different things and systems that are impacted? Paying attention to the root cause is what changes everything. So I'm glad that you're here, or I'm glad that you're listening to this recording, because today really does begin the rest of your life. So you might be like, okay, now what? What do I do? Where do I begin? And this little image, you might be like, what is that, Rosie? Well, do you remember going to like an arcade and there's like a whack-a-mole game? You guys remember whack-a-mole? I'm kind of dating myself, but that is what that is. There can be so many times in life where we feel like we're just in the middle of a whack-a-mole situation. Like we might get one symptom knocked down or under control a little bit, and then just another one just pops back up. And you're swinging and you're not even hitting all the moles, right? You're just, it feels a little bit like throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what fits and what sticks on the wall. And that is not effective, and it's frustrating, and it's not the best use of your financial resources either. And this is exactly what I had been doing for years with things that had to do with my gut and things that had to do with women's health. And it wasn't until I started using doTERRA that even in 1 month, I saw big shifts and changes. So the first thing is to have a wellness mindset. So there's two approaches to health. One is the whack-a-mole situation that we just talked about, where you're focused on symptoms, and that is what is labeled on here as being the modern approach, or sometimes people refer to it as like the Western medicine approach. The way that we know is more effective and it's sustainable and it makes a difference for a longer period of time is when you focus on the root cause. That is where you see shifts in all those systems, or at least many of them at one time that we showed in that other slide. Leah, do you have something to share about this difference between ways to approach?
Yeah, well, I think anytime that we're just trying to cover up what we see, we're missing a big part of our puzzle. And then we're just going to be chasing other things, like you said. And I think anytime that I've helped, figure out stuff with other people and their health and even my own health, like I know if I'm not sleeping well, it's going to be impactful. I know if I'm eating way too much processed food, it's just not going to be helpful. That's just the basic of the foundation that we're approaching. But if you get outside and like really focus from a bigger lens of like your foundations and your nutrition is better, your sleep is better. The more we learn about the importance of sleep, the more we know that it impacts our body's healing. The more that we understand the impact of not having fresh fruits, vegetables, enzymes in our gut, the more that we realize, our gut really just plays into everything. So I think, we've been at this a long time, and it's astounding to me that we're finally at a place where what we've known for a long time is becoming more and more popular, where people want to get better. People are tired of putting band-aids on things. So I think it's a privilege and an honor to help people to see the bigger picture and what seems so ordinary to you or I, because we've done this a long time and we understand the foundational health and how that supports everything else. It's exciting when we can bring that to someone else and really kind of help them to open Pandora's box and be like, oh, there's more in there. Like there's secrets in there. And it's
Yeah.
really not a secret at all, but it's really how all of our body systems work together, and understanding that and helping others. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, well, and I like these two words at the bottom, the intervention as opposed to intention. I've traveled in underdeveloped or developing countries, however you want to phrase that. And I've gone and done humanitarian work and helped to serve. One was in Nepal, like helping to build a hospital and work on a school there, and have gone and worked with Days for Girls in a few different countries. And so I've seen other schools and clinics and hospitals in those places. And we do in the United States, North America, Many of the more developed countries around the world, very best place to have an emergency. Like that emergency care is top notch. If I need to have somebody set a bone and do some surgery and get that bone put back together, we are in a great place for emergency care. But is every single situation in our life an emergency? And ask yourself, do we live in the very best place for wellness care? And the answer is that we really don't. And so having that intention that you're going to be able to focus on things before they pop up, before your body's talking back, before it's emergent, then that's where we're here to help. That's what we want to help you with. So the intervention model is this firefighting piece, like you're putting out fires, and it's not sustainable. This is where you can end up feeling like you're burned out, where you're it's exhausting. And it's not to say that doTERRA doesn't have some great firefighters, because we do. Like if I am out in the garden and I decide that for whatever reason I have to weed every single bed in my front yard all in one Saturday, I'm going to notice it the next day. I'm going to have some soreness, right? Maybe even some joints are going to be sore. So like this deep blue that's pictured right here, it can be a phenomenal answer to that symptom situation, right? Same with the lavender. I can't tell you how many times I've had lavender like soothe a bug bite or a cut or an abrasion or sunburn. All of those things are examples of there was something that popped up, a symptom, and it needed to have a symptom relief, right? But it doesn't help keep any of those things popping up more. It's not helping address the root cause. Those examples I gave here, like, well, Rosie, just don't weed for so long or don't be out in the yard so long to get a sunburn, right? Doesn't really have to do necessarily with your supplements or what you're doing on a daily basis with doTERRA's products. But the concept is there are some times when we need to put out a fire, and we've got some great solutions for that. But then this ambulance mentality is really just symptom management. And you can see that everything about the modern healthcare system really is designed to manage symptoms. The side effects, both known and unknown. Have you guys listened to a commercial lately for any kind of a drug? People are actually saying that they are agreeing to all of those side effects. And many times they say things like blindness, permanent nerve damage. I mean, they just like go on and on and on, hearing loss, possible diminished mental capacity, and even death, right? I mean, those are side effects. And there's actually 9 trillion plus, because this is actually a figure from the year before, that's spent on global healthcare. And then the question to ask yourself is, are we healthier? This ambulance mentality and the story behind that is, just envision if there's a cliff, and this is horrible. I don't even know that I love this whole example, but if there's a cliff and people keep like accidentally falling off the cliff, then you have to send an ambulance to the bottom to fix them, right? As opposed to looking for the root cause, and that intention model is more like that you'd have a fence up there and a barrier that would make it so that then people are going to not be falling off the cliff and have to have an ambulance to be rescuing, right? So, and it's not just old people. Look at these statistics and these figures on here. I mean, even young adults, 18 to 25, they're expected to be the sickest generation and the highest rate of mental health concerns. And look at the obesity rate, 40% obesity, not just overweight, but obese. And when you look at people who have already moved into what is supposed to be their golden years, their retirement years, to go out and be active and do the things that they possibly didn't have the time to do during their working years, the majority have multiple health conditions. They're taking unnecessary drugs with side effects, overlapping side effects, and the doctors aren't even necessarily communicating about all these things. And these adults live an average of 13 years beyond their health span, meaning their quality of life is not good. They're not being able to do all those things that they envision doing. And did you know that our lifespan, our life expectancy is low compared to other developed countries here in America? I know we can have people from other countries that are catching this later, but here in America. So these are sobering. These statistics are sobering, and yet we really do have a choice. Healthcare is not wellness care. Wellness care is focusing on the root cause. We have choices. You can set intentions. You can put that fence up at the top of the cliff, and you can work on your wellness from that root cause. We need to have a plan in place every single day. Those little daily habits make a difference. And we need to have high quality bricks to sustain our wellness. They need to be ones that we can rely on, that we know that they're pure, and we know that they're potent.
And I think that is so important. I think when you talk about, we're never going to be an all-time optimal, every decision we make, everything we eat, everything consume, every day we move or not. It's never going to look perfect. Like life just gets in the way. But it truly is. Like my friends here always make fun of me because my tagline is daily habits matter most. And so I'll show up to church and someone's eating a cookie and they're like, I know daily habits matter most. Like it's so ingrained in how I like to teach and who I am. And I know that other people catch that. And so I think it really is so important that we don't overlook that, yeah, we can have ice cream with our kids once in a while, or you can have a day where you just don't move your body, whether it's, you're too tired, whether you're, not feeling well, maybe your kid's schedule is just out of control and you just don't have that 15 minutes. But I think it's just understanding and making appropriate choices that really are, what are your daily things? What really becomes natural, just like brushing your teeth, just like, taking a shower, like you have things in place and really setting up those habits that really is going to make the biggest long-term
Yeah.
plan.
Well, and the other thing that I love about the natural approach is we're so used to in the modern approach of there being like, oh, I have indigestion, so I need Pepto-Bismol, and I have diarrhea, so I need Imodium, and I have acid reflux, so I need Tums, and I have hemorrhoids, so I don't even know what that's called because I haven't used it for so long. And it's like each specific symptom has a specific solution, which might put that fire out for a minute, but most of those things that I just mentioned, people have them show up every day or multiple times a week, and they just keep putting out the fire, right? But when you're talking about using these natural solutions that are extracted from plants, they are synergistic, and they are going to, like, for example, our Digestive oil blend, that oil can be used for all of those situations. So instead of it being that I'm buying this one solution for this one situation, and maybe it only comes up 3 times a year, and so then I use it here and it's still okay, but I use it here and it's still okay, and then this time I go to reach for it, it's expired, so I'm throwing half the package away and throwing all that money away too. I have my Digestive oil that I can use for all of those things that I just talked about. And it's also working on the root causes because it helps to reduce inflammation. It's helping my digestive system to have that extra support to do what it needs to do. So it's not only putting out the symptom. So that's an example of one of our products that will do both. It can help work on symptoms and it helps come in underneath and work on root cause pieces at the same time. And what side effects have you guys noticed from Digestive?
Not a whole lot.
I've noticed my nausea going away. I've noticed my diarrhea stopping. I've noticed my car sickness going down, you
Mhm.
know, I've noticed those kinds of side effects, but not the ones that are listed on those commercials, right? So you want to build and sustain a foundational wellness. And as we do this, as we have this intention to focus on those daily habits, like what Leah talked about, and we do it with solid building blocks, you will be stunned at the differences that you will have and how you feel each and every day. In fact, I'm at a point now, years later, that when I miss doing some of these habits, I notice and I'm like, oh, that's how I used to feel. I kind of forgot. So it makes a difference. So there's only two things that ever go wrong. It's either too much of the wrong thing or too little of the right thing. So you can see this slide's divided into both sides, right? So I want you guys to just skim over this and see, because like Leah had said before, it's a process every day. Like, even though she and I have spent years and years and years on wellness journeys, there's always where something maybe goes out of balance and you get to work on bringing it back in again. And so take a look at what applies for you. Which things are you seeing that perhaps you've got too much of something that's unresourceful, too much of the wrong thing? Or where is it that you've got too little of the right thing? And I want you to know we've got some solutions. We're going to talk a little bit about deficiency to start with. 9 out of 10 of the most impactful risk factors are tied to poor nutrition. We live in a society where too many people just grab for what's most convenient, and it's full of unhealthy fats, preservatives, food dyes, extra hidden sugars, and just honestly, flat out chemicals and toxins. These are some of the most common nutrient deficiencies. Let me scoot this over here. So you can see that these are the percentages of intakes for adults 19 and over that are low on each of these things. There are also like incredible amounts of environmental toxins. It's really difficult to avoid. We even have environmental toxins like in your home, in your furniture, in your bed, in your pillows, in your paint, in your carpets. And they end up being stored in fatty tissues in your body, affecting key organs even, and they can be affecting you for years and stay in your body for years. And then larger animals that we eat, they pass along those chemicals and toxins from what they eat to us. And for children, they're at even greater risk because the damaging levels can be higher in their bodies with a lower amount of exposure. So did you guys see that how long this DDT pesticide can stay in the body? 50 plus years. Like, that is insane. We need help. We need support. This is not our parents' world anymore, and it's not our grandparents' world anymore. And coming from a healthy, like, foundation, I also had that mindset. It's like, well, I eat fruits and vegetables and I eat pretty healthy and I move. And so, that was good enough for my grandma. Why wouldn't that be good enough now? And this is one of the main reasons why it's not good enough now.
Mhm.
And here's more. Just in case that other slide wasn't depressing enough, here is a little bit more. And Leah, I know your family's had a little bit of personal experience with this. How fun is it to be dealing with environmental exposures in your home?
It's quite frustrating, to say the least. It keeps me close to my Lord, keeps me on my knees, always searching for answers for things I can't even explain. It's very hard. It's very hard.
Yeah,
And I'm grateful for what we do have in doTERRA, because I know that even though they have had a pretty extreme exposure to things, I also know that we've been supporting them as best as we know how to for a long time. And I can't imagine if we hadn't been on that path for the majority of their life, really. Um, so even being in a healthy lifestyle, even being in an awareness mindset, even using the best products on the market and the most pure things, and not having chemicals in our home, and not having chemicals in their body, and not having chemicals in their cleaning products um for their life, really, I can't imagine like living a different lifestyle.
like how much worse would it be? Like all the things if you didn't have those foundations,
Yeah.
because we aren't always in control of what we're exposed to, right? Um, have you guys noticed more and more people talking about how it seems like so many more people have got all of these different consequences over on the side? I hear it all the time where like grandparents are like, I don't remember so many kids having ADD or ADHD, right? Or they don't remember so many kids having some of these other
Mhm.
allergies, all these different things. They don't remember that a generation or two generations ago. And it's just because we have so innumerable ways that we're exposed. And if we're breathing, if we're eating or drinking, or if we ever have anything in contact with our skin, we are being exposed to toxins.
Yeah, I just listened to something the other day, and it said, if you think about your children and what they're exposed to just from a day, their vegetables or fruit came in a plastic bag from the grocery store. We put them in plastic containers in our refrigerator. We put them in a plastic baggie to send them to school, or you're serving them plastic silverware or plastic plates because that's what we give to kids these days. Like that's just one example of how easily we're just even messing with their endocrine system
Mhm.
just by feeding our children what could be a celery stick.
Right. What we're like, but
Incredible.
it's healthy. It's healthy food. Yes. Obviously, Leah and I are both very passionate about this, so we will move on. Health and well-being come from two things: getting enough of the right things or avoiding the wrong things. And it is pretty phenomenal. The more you focus on putting in more good, the more you naturally give the body a way to have the bad go out, and you also end up not wanting those things as much too. There's just like not as much room for it in your system or the system of the people that you care about. So we have an entire 90-day program to help this be a guided, easy to follow, and effective process. And that's what we're most excited to share with you guys about. You can see that we do this ABC. We activate the gut. We build by making sure you've got the actual nutrition your body can access and not our food supplies actually diminished. We gently detox and cleanse, so we're getting the bad out. And then the putting out the fires, the targeted support, you are still going to have things where either they come up and you need support using natural things to take care of those little fires that come up, or even as you're just moving through from a state of where you're at now to whatever level of wellness you're trying to move to, you can end up with needing to do some targeted support. Leah and I did a class on women's health a couple of weeks ago, and we talked specifically about targeted support, the priorities of women's health. And so there's always specific things that people want to work on. Somebody else might be like, I really love to be active and hike and run and be outside, and I'm training for a triathlon. And so the things that have to do with that cellular energy and rebuilding muscle and faster recovery times, like that might be their targeted support. So priorities aren't always putting out fires. Sometimes priorities are just an additional area of focus besides the A, B, and C.
Mhm.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. So just like a car needs to have all of these things happen, it's a good way to think about it for your body. Like I could be doing everything to activate. I'm turning the key and the battery's great, the sparks plugs are great, the alternator's new, but if there's no gasoline in the car, I'm not going anywhere. And maybe I'm good at those two things. I'm always keeping gas in the car, but if I'm not ever changing the oil or getting the tires changed or checking the filters, making sure that those are clean, I'm going to have problems, right? And then there's different times where you've got to do that targeted support, because either you're doing a road trip, so you want to make sure you've got everything all, like you're going to be going above and beyond, or because things come up, like you drive over a nail and you need to change the tires, right? So this is just a nice way to remember that all the parts are important. And we don't, I mean, unless you've got a car with an engine and you're getting nutrition, gasoline in there, the maintenance, the cleansing part, we don't have people just step right into the cleansing part. We don't want to have you jump into a cleanse and then have it be that you're having some little side effects like like a headache or feeling groggy or anything like that, a little bit of brain fog. We don't need to have all that. If you follow our plan and we do through all the steps, then you can just have this supported, easy to follow, and effective way to completely reset. So just like the car, this is the same example on your body. Your gut needs to have all of these things. There's a book that I love that's called Change Your Water, Change Your Life. It is a phenomenal book. So you need your water, you need fiber, you need enzymes, and you need your probiotics, which actually includes prebiotics as well. On the build area, you need to have vitamins and minerals, these antioxidants and amino acids that are all actually bioabsorbable, not that you're just flushing them down the toilet, literally, right? On the cleanse, it's important to be focusing on all of the exit chimneys, things that support your intestinal and urinary tract elimination system, your skin and your respiratory, those are secondary chimneys. And then you have internal chimneys, which is like your liver and your cells all have their own process of elimination. Your lymph system, for example, it also needs to be able to have things move into the primary channel of elimination. So this is this connection between, just like the car needs this is what our body needs. So these ABCs go right into foundational wellness. You can see that we've got it laid out in 3 months, but we actually in doTERRA just had some phenomenal new products released. And so Leah and I had already planned this class. We have already had this all laid out. And so you guys are getting the benefit of a little bit of a transition class, because we have this situation where it would be good to get started, start to loosen things up for the time that then you can step into your month 1, which is the prepare. And then month 2 is the cleanse. And then month 3 is to renew and replenish your body systems and move forward in your 90-day plan. So the terrain matters. And I like to bring this up because could you guys see the difference in this? One picture it says bagged big box brand. That is garden soil that was bought out of a bag. And it's got like big chunks of wood, maybe, that's not all the way broken down. Like it doesn't look like if I tried to plant little carrot seeds in there that they would do very well, right? And then look at the other dirt. If I were to plant little seeds in there, there's not like big chunks and debris and everything in there, and it's going to make a difference. So it's why having the times before we do the cleanse and then we get everything planted back into the gut afterwards. That's why it matters to do all the steps. It's more effective. So here outlines our 3 phases. And I think the most important thing for you to know is that whoever it is that invites you here to this webinar, they are going to walk you through this. And we have checklists and support pieces to help you all the way through. You're not alone. You have support and you have guidance going through from the vitality assessment to being able to check off the different things that you're taking, help knowing what to get for your targeted support to help make sure that when you get to the end of your 90-day reset, that you really have established new habits and you have a new foundation of wellness. This picture shows you what would be month 1 once you would get to there. But Leah and I have a proposal of a pre-month for people that would want to get started right now before this brand new product that you can see on the bottom. It's called the VMG Plus, this green box right here. This is available on October 1st. And it's delicious. I just have to say, it has pineapple and mango flavorings in it, not the proteins. You don't have to worry about any allergies. And it is absolutely delicious. And so our previous model of our supplements, the Lifelong Vitality Pack, they have been phenomenal. And I've used them since 2011, and they have been a complete game changer for me. But the thing with that, for it to be whole food nutrition with the technology that doTERRA was able to use over all these years as they put it together, we had to take 12 capsules per day to have this whole food nutrition, right? And now they have a patented delivery system where it's this little packet. So between this little packet and just taking 3 of your omegas, it's everything that was in the 12 pills before. So
Oh, great.
that is why we have a proposal for get started now and be able to get a jump start so that your month 1 will be even more effective. This is the example of what month 1 would be after the pre-month that we're talking about. Well, and it wouldn't be a full month, but when we get to the end, this will all make sense, I promise. This is an example of what month 1 is, but you would have the choice of, you could use the Lifelong Vitality Pack. Perhaps you're someone that already has a doTERRA account and you already have some Lifelong Vitality Pack that would last you through your month 1. Then you can use your Lifelong Vitality Pack still in that same place. But if you don't already have an account with doTERRA and you need to set one up to do the pre-pieces, then we would recommend you putting this in on the B part instead of those 2 big bottles that you see. These are 2 key and important pieces to that activate. And I know, Leah, you've got some great experiences with the TerraZyme. There we go. Would you share how you use the TerraZyme and what a difference it makes for you?
Yeah, I love the TerraZyme. I think knowing that it's helping my whole body break down and digest whatever I'm eating to get the nutrients out of that, whether that's a heavy dinner meal with the protein, chicken or fish or whatever protein we're putting in there, or of course the fruits and vegetables. Even taking the TerraZyme with my vitamins, I know that the body is able to absorb more the more it's broken down. So when I'm eating a salad and I have my TerraZyme, I know I'm maximizing those benefits. What I also think is a fantastic use for the TerraZyme is just knowing that like if you do move a lot and you build up some discomfort, even the enzymes that are in the TerraZyme will help move through your muscle discomfort because your body is able to process so much more efficiently. So I think you can't go wrong adding the TerraZyme in to your everyday. As our body breaks things down, it it digests what we don't need and it gets that moving along, but it also helps us to absorb what we do need.
Yeah, you're only getting live enzymes. Any of us are only getting live enzymes if we're eating raw fruits and vegetables. And we already know that those nutritional benefits of fruits and vegetables are diminished now compared to what they were a generation ago. And all of our body systems need enzymes. And so if you don't have all the enzymes that are needed to break down the carbs and the fat and the meat and anything at all that's cooked that you're eating, if you don't have enough enzymes to do that, your body is actually going to borrow enzymes that aren't digestive enzymes. They're just, it's like grasping for anything it can. It's going to borrow enzymes from other body systems because it has to keep the engine going for you to have energy, for you to stay alive. And so that's another benefit of using the Terrazyme digestive enzyme is people find that their muscles recover faster, like what Leah is talking about. People find that they have less brain fog, that their cognitive function is being supported in a different way. People find that their metabolic system is supported in a different way, that their even things that have to do with their endocrine system are supported in a better way because the body has the enzymes it needs for digesting, so it can be using the right enzymes in all the other places. And this says, do this at home, this oatmeal experiment. You can take a bowl of oatmeal and you can open up one of the Terrazyme capsules. They're actually like a veggie cap that you can just pull it apart and like dump the powder out and stir that into the oatmeal and let it sit for 3 or 4 minutes, and you will see that it will be breaking that oatmeal down. It's pretty crazy. I love this PB Restore. As a holistic health coach, I actually, before this came out, spent a lot of my time coaching people on how to make a specific type of yogurt that had to have a 72-hour long ferment, and there were 5 different separate types of bacteria that we would buy separately and mix into the culture and then grow that out, because there were certain types of flora that were not being found when they did autopsies on bodies of people from developed countries. They were just gone. They could still find them in indigenous peoples that were out in areas that weren't developed, but these specific strains were just gone. And all kinds of great side effects were happening from these being gone. Like you've probably heard of SIBO and lots of other digestive issues that people talk about all the time. And when doTERRA released this PB Restore and it showed the list of the 22 strains of probiotics and the different species and the prebiotics and all the different pieces that were in there to help support, I seriously almost cried, because those species that I was helping people grow to try and heal their gut, they are right there in this PB Restore. So instead of having to ferment your own yogurt and do that 3 times a week so that you can have everything that your gut needs in order to heal itself, you can just take the PB Restore. And the beautiful thing about this is it's a capsule inside of a capsule. And so what is needed down into the lower tract of your body isn't released until it's down into that lower tract. And these different cultures support brain function and muscle recovery and your immune system and your endocrine system. And it is one of the roots of foundational wellness, is to have this every single day. This is talking about the fuel, right? The build part. And again, this is where I've put you, it would either be the parts of the Lifelong Vitality Pack or the VMG and the omegas that I put the little picture on here. And then the Mito2 Max, this actually feeds your mitochondria. And so again, we're talking about the foundation of your cellular energy. So not a stimulant, but helps your engine to run the very best that it can. We're just gonna skip through really quickly. There is a difference between vitamins, like your grandma's vitamins, and these vitamins that we're talking about. doTERRA's vitamins do not have these contaminants that are listed here on this screen, right? And there's not these synthetic materials or synthetic minerals that are listed in the bottom statistic either. Everything that is in doTERRA's supplements, whether it's the Lifelong Vitality Pack or the new VMG Plus, they are whole food and 100% natural and not synthetic. So you don't have to worry about any of these things that other people are having to deal with. Oh, here's just, you could even like take a picture of this if you wanted to, but you can see how the function of the Mighty 2 Max is that optimal mitochondrial function. So this has everything to do with your cellular life, the healthy lifespan of your cell, energy production, and it also supports your mental energy, so that cognitive function too. And then out with the bad. These two products are some of the best things to help move things out. The Zendocrine Detox, the Zendocrine complex is a detoxification complex. And then the Meta Power Oil Blend, I love to put it in my water. It's one of my favorites. And it really helps support my lymph system for sure. I can notice a difference when I am not using my Meta Power Oil. Leah, did you have anything to say about either one of these?
Yeah, I'll say for sure. I know I like the MetaPower oil, and sometimes I'm so on the go, I use the capsule. And although they're both very supportive, I do notice that they work differently. And so when I'm using the MetaPower oil, I feel like it just flushes my system every morning really beautifully, and I feel less discomfort in my guts throughout the day. So I think it's just an easy thing to add to your water and drink it throughout the day. But even if all you do is start your day with that, that's just a foundational piece, but you can drink it all day long if you want to,
Yeah.
of course, in moderation. But I do notice quite a difference with just how my guts feel. And then, of course, with the complex, you know, anytime we can help our system, you know, clean our filters, our whole body's going to work better. So I notice like better skin, better movement in my guts. Like I notice when I take the complex and when I don't. I think it's really a staple for everybody.
Yeah. I also, now that you mentioned that, I also notice a difference with when I am taking the Zendocrine complex, because there's Zendocrine oil also. That's why we keep saying Zendocrine complex. And there's also Zendocrine oil in soft gels. So you might hear somebody say Zendocrine soft gels, but this complex is actually an herbal complex. So again, it's a veggie cap, like what I showed you with the Terrazyme with powdered herb pieces support in there, right? And I notice a difference on my skin too when I am taking this. So I am someone where sometimes I'll just decide to do this endocrine complex even when I'm not doing anything that has to do with a cleanse or restoring. I'll just go like, oh, I feel like I need to give those systems a little bit of extra support. And the other thing about the metabolic blend, the MetaPower, some people can use that to help reduce cravings, or if you're someone that needs to release some weight, it can help support your metabolic system in that way to release some weight too. In fact, it has a whole separate system that can be used outside of this 90-day reset that we're talking about.
Mhm.
So this is just a great little graphic that talks about getting all of the trash out from all of our systems, right? And the products that we've talked about, each of them focuses on some different pieces to help to move those things out. Even when you, for example, are taking, whether it's the Lifelong Vitality Pack or you're taking I'm trying to drop it, sorry, the VMG Plus and the E Omega Plus, there's wild orange oil in here that's also going to be help supporting to detox your liver and help your body with that. So it's not like only one thing. They're all meant to work together in a beautiful way to take care of all of these chimneys.
Mhm.
This gives examples of some of the different things that are inside that endocrine complex to take out the trash, so to speak. And then this has more detail about that metabolic blend, which again, you can take a picture of that if you want to. I like thinking about how we don't actually create more fat cells or have fat cells go away, but it's that whole thing of being able to help the things go out of the fat cell that aren't resourceful for us anymore. So some detoxing, getting rid of some of those environmental toxins, and just helping. One of the things they've studied is it inhibits that fat cell maturation. So instead of them like being really mature and robust, right? It helps them to not be like that. So if you haven't been to an Essential Oil 101 class before, we wanted to make sure that some of the basics were at least touched on. So doTERRA's essential oils are pure and they are potent. So like 1 drop of peppermint oil is like 28 cups of peppermint tea. And essential oils are lipophilic. They actually will pass through the cell membrane. So they can impact things that are inside of the cells and outside of the cells. And believe it or not, that impact I was telling you about, like with the digestion oil, I can have a shift, for example, if I'm having diarrhea with just like 3 or 4 drops of digestion. Maybe I put 1 drop on my tummy and 1 drop in my mouth, and I wait 15 minutes or so. I'm like, oh no, it's still something I need to be thinking about. And so then I'll put 1 drop on my tummy and another drop under my tongue and swallow that with a little bit of water. And so literally for pennies, I've taken care of something that before would have cost me, $14 at the local store down the street. This is a really great way to take a look at that MetaPower. I love how it breaks down all the different oils that are in it and what they do, and they all work synergistically together to create the outcome that you're looking for with that MetaPower oil. It even helps us to have a healthy insulin response to when we have carbohydrates. And that's something that I even tested out with a glucose monitor. I wore a glucose monitor for 6 months, and I definitely saw a difference when I was using my MetaPower oil and some of the other parts of the MetaPower system. So we can use our oils internally, topically, or aromatically. In the oils that we can use internally, they have a supplements facts label on there. So at a glance, I'm always like, which way do I move the bottle? At a glance, you can tell which of doTERRA's oils are okay for you to use internally. And this example is another one of doTERRA's blends called Balance. But you'll see as ooh. Oh, and it's upside down. Okay. As I spin the bottle, you'll see it doesn't have a supplement facts label on it, so Balance is not meant to be used internally. But I love to put some in my water. I use it in my cooking. Many times I'll even just like put a drop under my tongue and hold it there and then just have some water and swallow it. Topically can be a really great way for things where we're putting out little fires. There's a Purify blend that we love for whenever there's a bug bite. We'll just put it right on there. We have a whole essential oil 101 class that covers all of these things in more detail. And of course, diffusing is really great. It's a great delivery system, particularly great for impacting the mood of everybody around you. But don't think that that's all that it does, because those natural constituents that are in the essential oils, they actually go in to your body through your nose and can have an impact even inhaling them. And then a really common thing that I'll have people, they'll be like, oh, well, I don't want to put that oil on my skin because I don't want to be oily. Essential oils are not oils. Essential oils are aromatic compounds from the plants. They're natural chemical constituents. They're actually the basis that many medicines have been synthetically modeled after. They're creating those isolated constituents chemically, synthetically in a lab. And that is where many of those things came from. So they're not actually oil. So I like to tell people that they think that it's actually an oil. So remember, there's your month 1 example, and we're going to be meeting the root needs as we go through. So you have a complete reset, and that whole targeted support, it's important. You might have specific things you want to focus on outside of your reset, and the wellness advocate that referred you to the class will be able to help you to line out exactly what that is with you taking the vitality assessment, figuring out what your top priorities are, and then coupling that up with the reset program. This again is just outlining some of those main things that you do and how important it is that you personalize your plan with some targeted support. And that's another way that we stand out and are just head and shoulders above some other companies in doTERRA, is that your wellness advocate is committed to helping you to know how to use what it is that you get, and to make sure that you're having the experience that you're looking for, that you know how to get your things, you know who to turn to if your order doesn't come on time, you know exactly when to take things, and that you aren't alone in your journey and trying to reset your health. One of the things that isn't part of what is talked about is the doTERRA fiber, and it's one of Leah and my favorite products, and so we wanted to make sure that we put it in here. I love to have this every single morning. It's just like, it tastes good all by itself, you guys, believe it or not. And it is a key part of your foundational wellness. Like, you can just go find some studies on the difference that it makes for someone to be having fiber with their digestive system, with inflammation, with gut health overall, with cognitive function. Like, it is all connected. Did you have anything you wanted to say about the fiber, Leah?
No, I just think it's fascinating the more I've learned about fiber in the last even 2 years that I've studied more, where I'm like, oh, the benefits are way more than we just think, oh, eat an apple a day, right?
Yeah,
There's a reason they said eat an apple a day,
yeah.
right?
When
So,
I'm teaching a basic class, I'll be like, hey, who in here would like to have better sleep? And people, who would like to have better cognitive function? Who would like to maybe lose a little bit of weight and be a little bit leaner and stronger? Who would like to have your digestive system function better? I mean, it's
mm,
everything. It's connected to everything.
yeah, exactly.
And so this is the pre bundle that Leah and I put together for being able to get started now before you're kicking off your program in October. And this ReNEW You Prepare bundle, it includes having the fiber, so you're laying a strong foundation for being ready for doing the whole reset. The Terrazyme, so you're getting all of that digestive enzyme support. The Zendocrine Detoxification Complex, and the Meta Power. And these 4 things together will lay a super strong foundation for moving into the whole program. Now, if you already have an account with doTERRA, a wholesale account with doTERRA, you can just order this on your own account, or maybe some of these things you already have. And then you'll be ready for stepping into the ReNEW You program in October. This is what month 1 would look like, just as a reminder, in case you want to start planning ahead. And again, Leah and I both, because we both love, we've loved the Lifelong Vitality Pack, but I am so in love with just taking 3 of these pills and the little green drink. So I would advise switching to the VMG
Well,
Plus.
even my husband said it's drinkable without a complaint, and my teenager. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we win all this one.
yeah, that's what we got at my house too. There are 3 ways to buy. Retail is most expensive. It can work for a one-time purchase, but honestly, I don't ever recommend that anybody does that. Wholesale, you get a free membership, and it's 25% below the retail cost. And it's like having a Costco account, but you just get those lower prices and you can get that 25% off. And then you do have the option to buy below wholesale. You still have that free membership. It's 25% below retail. You can start with a bundle or a kit or a collection where it comes up to at least that 100 PV, that product value. And then you get free shipping. You can get reward points with your loyalty order, or what we call doTERRA rewards. And if you click that, yes, I want to get this thing or this thing every single month, you click when you're setting up that you're setting up a subscription on those things, you actually get 10% back in points on your very first order. So that is how you can be below wholesale. And there's actually a whole nother account that's for people that are like, I want to teach people about these products. I want to be a wellness advocate. I'd like to make some money with doTERRA. I want to build a business with doTERRA. That's a whole separate account. These options here are outlining the ones that are different than if somebody wants to build a business with doTERRA. So reach out to the person that invited you if you want to know more about those pieces, because we have got some great things in place to help support you at that too. This gives you some examples of some of the different priorities that, like how we have it all laid out. Like, oh, you want to focus on sleep? Here's targeted support options. Oh, you want to focus on digestion? Here's options for working on digestion. So when you take that vitality assessment, that will help you to be able to narrow down into any targeted support. And I always like to make sure that people know that with your setup order, with your first order, or sometimes we'll refer to it as your enrollment order when you set up your wholesale membership, if your order is 150 PV, and that PV stands for product value. So a lot of times it's a little different than the dollar amount. Like in the example that Leah and I made for you, did you see how it was 100 PV, but it was 112.550, 112.50 in dollars. So the dollar amount and the PV can be a little bit different. But then you can pick one of these free gifts. So 100 PV gets you free shipping, and then 150 PV or more gets you either this diffuser, the foaming hand wash concentrate and dispenser, or you get 2 toothpastes, just for those people setting up their account for the first time. And then we will help you with a wellness consult to get ready for what it is that you need for the next month after that. And we'll just skim through these fast. This is just to help you see we have things in place to help you check off as you go through the different phases, so that you know what it is you're supposed to take when, and you're not alone, and we guide you through on it. And these were September specials. So if somebody has a doTERRA Rewards subscription set up and they place their order on or before the 15th of 125, you can see that in September, that was a guaiac wood, which is similar to a sandalwood. It's really great for meditation and brain function. And but that would count. Like if you set up your account in September and then you had your order in October, that was all your things for month 1, you'd qualify for whatever October's free product of the month is. And we don't know what that is yet, so I can't tell you that. And then we had 10% off Melissa in September, which is still good. The offer is still good. But then in October, there'll be something else also that's 10% off. This also is part of a program that's called Diamond Club. And if you're setting up your account new and you set it up with at least 100 PV order, you'll get a free balance oil, which is shown there in the picture. And if your order is at least 200 PV when you're setting up, you get the balance and the adaptive. And remember, you'd also get free shipping, and you get to pick that free gift too. And then if you are having a regular order where you subscribe to specific things, which like some of the things you'd be taking each month, like your vitamin pieces, then you're also going to get these points back. And those points spend just like dollars on future orders. So it's a lot of information. And the most important thing for you to know is when you're talking to the person who's going to help you set up your account, be like, hey, they said something about Diamond Club and getting a free balance, and that I could get 10% back if I subscribe to some things and 25 points for free. And they'll be able to help you get that all sorted out. We serve three kinds of people. People that they want to change their own life. So what you're doing helps impact you. People who want to share with others, like you, maybe you've already even thought, oh, my mom needs to hear this, or my sister, or my friend, or the gal that I went to college with, like they need to hear this. And those people love to share. And a lot of times, those are the people that they'll decide to have their own virtual class or gathering in their home. And we help you to do that so that your friends can learn about this too. And then the third type of person, you want to change your future. And you'd like to also have a business with doTERRA, like what Leah and I do. And you want to be able to help change other people's lives and change your own home and your own life as well. What you can expect is you'll get some kind of a welcome packet from whoever it is that helps you set up your account. Some people send out a little card. Some people send you something in an email. Some people, they jump on Zoom or meet you in person, and the welcome packet can be that resource of their time, even with you. You have a wellness consult, so we know you know what to take when, how to use the things that you get, and you get to be part of our great community, which I think it's pretty amazing. We've got a great wellness community of people who are really good at helping support each other as we move towards our wellness goals. So there we go. You may be already thinking of who else needs this. And I want you to know we have some upcoming classes, and you can share with them about these classes and they can come and learn too. You can also decide to set up a class where it's Leah or I teaching just to your own friends and your group of people. And so we can set those classes up too. We do try to make it fun. We have prizes and gifts for our hostesses. So just reach out and we can help you to do that. Last but not least, there's a thing called doTERRA dollars. And if you're the person you're like, well, I don't know that I want to host a class, but I want to share, I want to invite some other people. We have a thing that's called doTERRA Refer a Friend. And so you can invite your friends. We can help them to use your Refer a Friend link. And if they end up purchasing, whether they come to a class that we teach or one that you decide you want to have us help you to host, then you get these doTERRA dollars, and they don't expire and they act just like cash. They can be used anytime for anything. You can think of it as like a reloadable gift card, and it can be up to $600 in a year. And so this is a really fun way. I love that doTERRA has created this because somebody doesn't have to be building a business or even hosting a traditional class. It can be almost used like an affiliate link kind of a thing, but you get these doTERRA dollars that you can then spend on doTERRA products. And these are our next classes. On Wednesday the 2nd, we'll have a full ReNEW class that won't have so many different options showing because we'll have our new products out. So I'll just be able to focus on just the new products. On Wednesday, the 9th of October at 7:30 p.m. Mountain, why doTERRA, why now? That will be focused on why the doTERRA opportunity is different and different ways that you can participate in making money, whether you want to earn enough to pay for your own product, you'd like to supplement your income, or maybe you'd like to replace your income. Talk about why doTERRA is so different and why this is a great time to get started. And then on Friday, the 11th of October, we'll have another ReNEW class. And I think Leah is my co-host on that one too. So that will be really fun. So I hope to see you guys at these. I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording.